Happy Friday! Welcome to Good Morning Football, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky, live in New York City. It's December 1st. I'm Jamie Erdahl. There's Kyle Brandt, Peter Schrager, Jason McCourty. Guys, do you think Dak Prescott heard us talking about him yesterday when we said, is he the best player even on his team? I think he heard it. I think he heard it, because that was impressive what he did last night.
Balling out.
He hung.
Very happy for the good folks. Jeff Bezos, very happy today.
Yes,
Lauren Sanchez, very happy.
Yes.
Mike Mariano, we love you.
Yes.
Guys, Cowboys, Seahawks, 0 punts.
Let's go.
0 punts. Only a handful of games in NFL history end that way.
A lot of flags.
Let's win. Cowboys win. Cowboys are 9-3. 41-35, 0 punts. We're going to hear from Mike McCarthy, but first, number 4 for the Dallas Cowboys in a shimmering, beautiful jacket. Take it away, Dak.
Yeah, it's fun. It's what you play the game for. As a quarterback, to have the ball in your hands with an opportunity to go win the game, take the lead, whatever it may be. We practice those situations a lot, too. So, I mean, it's credit to Mike, the staff, and just the rest of the guys and the players of being prepared and locked in.
Dak's playing great ball. It's fun when when you're in this rhythm. He has such great command, and it's just a connection, with his teammates, on the field at the line of scrimmage. We're getting in and out of things seamlessly. We're playing with a really good pace, and and that's just how we want to play. We want to attack, and you can only do it, with the championship caliber quarterback, and Dak is that guy.
One word stood out for Mike McCarthy there as it pertains to Dak Prescott: command. He did seem like he had a feel for the game, and the Cowboys needed it, specifically on offense last night. Dak balled out. Jason, takeaways from that game that at times I was nervous watching it. Like, are the Cowboys going to cowboy the situation again after we have built them up all week?
I'm usually a guy that comes on, I want to talk about defense. Guys making plays this, that, and the third. Kyle, you said it. There were 0 punts in the game. It was offense aplenty, starting with DK with the long touchdown. But it all comes back to Dak Prescott. This guy has been unbelievable. You look at what he was able to do last night when the Dallas Cowboys defense, who typically makes plays, Deron Bland pick sixes, Micah Parsons getting out the quarterback, Seattle was moving the ball up and down the field, and every single time Dak responded. After the game, he said, no opinion defines me. People can say whatever they want. I have the pen. I have the paper. I'm the one writing. Awesome. Dak, that is a bar right there. Dropped an album, make a song. I am here for it. He showed up when he needed to. Last 6 games, 20 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. You can talk about who he's playing, all this, that, and the third. Dak is getting out there, and he is finding his guy, CeeDee Lamb, and they are making plays. The combination of those two last night from the beginning of the game, him being able to Dak getting outside the pocket, running. We saw him right there towards the end against Rick Woolen. He makes a tackle. He gets up in his face. He's talking trash. Take you all the way back to training camp when Trevon Diggs was talking trash to Dak Prescott. And we were all making a big thing out of it. We love this side of Dak that we're seeing. He's confident. He's going out there. He's about to be a new father. We saw some dad strength out there on the football, leading this Cowboys team. We talked about him as a possible MVP yesterday. He went out there in prime time and continued to show it, performed. He has to, his name, he's just moving up the ranks right now for that possible MVP.
Geno went throw for throw with him. Geno lit up that Cowboys defense. Geno was out there throwing it. Metcalf had a career day. It felt like Smith and Jigma made 3 or 4 amazing catches. And the defense for the Cowboys, which we've been, calling the 76 Steelers and the 2000 Ravens the last few weeks, they were getting lit up. And then in the 4th quarter, Seahawks are up 5. They decide to go for it on 4th down. And just as you think the defense can't do anything, they make a play. And it was 7 minutes left to go in the game. They don't make this play. Seahawks come down, they score. We're talking 2-score game. Instead, they make a play. Then, end of the game, 3rd and 2, after Geno converted a couple first downs and was marching the ball downfield. Again, a touchdown loses us for the Cowboys. Geno, incomplete, big play there. Great pass defense. And then the one you were talking about, Kyle, on the highlight here. Micah Parsons goes untouched, and he pursues Geno Smith. So my takeaway is, you see that score, 35 points. You see DK Metcalf already won 4,000 fantasy leagues in one night last night for our teams. When the defense needed to step up, Bland got an interception after getting roasted all night. They stopped the play on the 4th and 1. And then in the last 2 plays of regulation, when Geno Smith was going up and down the field the entire game, the defense did show up. I come out of that game feeling, all right, those first 3 quarters, forgettable. fourth quarter when they were needed. Usually the Cowboys are not the team that steps up in the clutch. They were, and maybe that's what's different this year from years past.
Bland got roasted like on a spit. It was tough.
It was bad.
Tough night. Tough night for him. We'll talk about Bland. But you guys know, all I ever say about the Cowboys is, why is this team different? Why is this team different than every other Cowboys team I've seen? Dak feels different right now. I have to give it to him. There's just something intangible when you're watching the games, and you've seen Dak play a lot of football. When he drops back to pass, you believe he's going to make it happen. You don't think there's going to be some dumb play. It's not going to be intercepted. He's amazing. And I'm watching Mike McCarthy talk about him afterwards, about how good Dak is. And I'm like, Mike has seen this before. Like, he looks like MVP Rodgers right now. He really does. Yeah. Jason said some numbers. Dak hit rock bottom against San Francisco. That was over 7 weeks ago. Since then, he has been not Aaron Rodgers. I'm talking about one of those crazy, like, 4-interception Aaron Rodgers seasons where you're like, how is he doing this? You know, this week, Rodgers is talking to Pat and saying, I love watching Dak. It's because you're watching yourself. Like, maybe it's his ego, I don't know, or maybe he just appreciates it. I'm watching Dak right now, and I see Rodgers from 3-4 years ago, or maybe the first run of MVPs he has. I watched him drop back, and I'm like, oh, Dak's got this. I'm not worried about a thing. When have we said that about the Cowboys? We're not worried about a thing. There's always that tension underneath. I've also said for years that Dak is just Kirk Cousins. They're the same exact player. No, they're not. I don't think Kirk has ever been this good, and Kirk's been really good, especially to start this season. Dak's fantastic. The defense, I don't know. Like, that was, I know they made some big plays. No, I see 35 against the Seahawks team that's been scoring in the teens lately. That's a problem. And you start to think, like, God, if Seattle doesn't for 35, what the hell is San Francisco going to do? Or Philly? That's not Dak's problem. Dak is like, I don't care, score 70, I'll score 71. He is feeling it right now, and when he's screaming and flexing and he's like giving quotes about, I got the paper, that's a very poetic thing to say. Like, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. What's different about this Cowboys team? This is the best quarterback to play that they've had in years, maybe decades, honestly, that long. They've never had an NFL MVP as a quarterback, never. Their last MVP is Emmett. Dak right now is playing better than Romo ever did, than Aikman ever did. Just look it up. He's unbelievable. Will he collapse? I don't know. Right now, though, he's different. It's awesome.
Oftentimes the question we ask about Dak, and to your Kirk Cousins point, is like, who would you want on a game-winning drive when you're down and you're at a 2-minute drill? And right now, you'd pick Dak 10 out of 10 times by how he's playing. It was sloppy at times last night. If you're watching it, you love your football, but you don't love it with a side of laundry on the field. There were 11 penalties called against the Cowboys in the first half alone. 8 of them went against the defense. So the Seahawks started out fast, sure, offensively, but the refs were also pushing the ball down the field for the Seahawks. To Kyle's point, the Cowboys defense, they were giving up points left and right. And it is a little tenuous when you consider the fact that they've played the 49ers, they've played the Eagles, and now they give up this many points to a Seahawks team. That's points allowed on the right, and that's not great. 2 of those games are on the road. Now you have to consider you're going to have the Eagles at home next week, and you hope that that shifts a little bit back your way. But guys, any cause for concern, whether it be defensive or mental errors when it comes to the penalties for the Cowboys?
You talked about penalties. Both these teams going into the game were the 2 most penalized teams in the NFL, and it held true. You're talking about Seattle moving down the field. It was the same when Dallas had the ball. It was just defensive. The backfield, DBs getting penalty after penalty, illegal contact, holding, pass interference. The concern for the Cowboys right now is you watched their defense last night, and obviously to Deron Bland last week and throughout the beginning of this week, all we've talked about was Defensive Player of the Year, and I was one of the main ones, pick 6 after pick 6. And something I said, the toughest thing, you're talking about winning Defensive Player of the Year as a DB. The hardest thing is you have to perform every single week. We talk about Micah Parsons as a possible Defensive Player of the Year as well. If a guy on the front end, if you're in the wrong gap or you don't have a good rush, no one knows. As soon as a DB, as soon as you give up a play, everybody at home, my 7-year-old son can watch the game, and if he sees me get dunked on and somebody catches a pass on my head, dang, Daddy, that's your fault. And that was the type of night for Deron Bland. That first half was rough. A penalty in the end zone for Smith and Jigba gives him another touchdown, then they throw it right back at him. He made the adjustment. So did the Cowboys. In the second half, they moved Stephon Gilmore over to match up DK Metcalf. He followed him around the field, and Deron Bland went opposite. He made an interception. He made a play. If you've never been out there on that island against a really good receiver, you don't know mentally what that's like. There's a challenge physically to go out there and defend a DK Metcalf, and then to have to come back mentally after you've given up a 70-yard pass, you've given up a slant for a touchdown. He did that in the second half. He came back, he performed decent, but they had to move him off the best receiver. That is something that you're going to have to watch going forward, because we talked about them throwing the ball at Gilmore because of how well Bland was playing early on.
This is important because the GMFB, the B stood for Bland over the past couple of months. We talk a lot of Bland. I've never heard of a Defensive Player of the Year being pulled off a receiver. Like, I don't remember Deion guarding Chris Carter in '94, and they're like, sorry, Deion, Eric Davis, get in there and guard. That doesn't happen. Peter, you have a good pulse for this. Yeah. Was last night a good night for T.J. Watt, like, in terms of the Defensive Player of the Year?
A good night for everyone else, yes. And Brandt did have the interception, but, like, you also have to realize, after breaking the record and jumping in the kettle and all of us talking about, now you got a target on your back also. Yeah. And DK Metcalf and Smith and Jigba, they're watching it and they're like, okay, let's go destroy this guy. I actually feel a little bit more confident with the Cowboys after last night, and they've been blowing out teams, but the fact we called it, Bobby Wagner called it a couple of weeks ago, what, the grimy games? Like we had to win some of those grimy games? Or was it Fred Warner?
Fred Warner.
Yeah. That was a grimy game for them. I know the scores were huge, but like they were losing in this game. They were down 5 in the fourth quarter at home, and they had watched DK Metcalf do just whatever he wanted on them, and they found a way to come back and they won. So I kind of like seeing them have to win that style of game also, not just run away first minute of the game to the end of the minute, we win by 32 points.
Yeah. Dak was so good, though. Defense, and you're just like, that's a cool way to watch
it. It is. I was saying it yesterday. I'm like, are the Seahawks going to win this game? Is this Cowboys led?
Yes.
And it was there for like 3 hours. Like, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then, no, they finished.
So it did give us some clarity.
Up for grabs and batted down by Will Dissly, but Geno Smith is down.
For it. Goff underneath, and Reynolds gets crunched. Raymond, beg your pardon, gets crunched.
Vito looking, throws over the middle, it's complete, and a big hit laid by David Mayo on the tight end.
Someone was trying to do something. I was like,
look at that hit now. That one's clean. That's Quincy Williams again.
And away, and Mahomes finds Kelsey over the middle for another first down, but a flag is down.
Second down, 5. Run for, he's drilled. Big time hit. Cater Kohu makes the...
He does. Punter was able to slow him up, but he still takes it all the way back inside the 15, and you can tack on a few more.
Dodge to Madison. Jules strings him out. Big hit at the end of the play by Alex Singleton and Zach Allen.
3-point differential, but Kyler Murray finds Dortch, who's knocked out of bounds by Stingley. He's got a first down, so I kind of gave away the lead there on that.
Prescott over the middle, caught for the touchdown. Luke Schoonmaker holds it in. The rookie has his second.
Henderson up the middle, and he is stopped. Big collision at the 1.
Jordan Brooks has been a tackling machine.
Cade Otton on the speed out. Drilled out of bounds by Dre Greenlaw with 2:08 left to play.
Shotgun. Pickett lets it fly. Helmet flies off. Najee Harris stuck by Ward, short of the first down.
Quarterback's Herbert. Here's another great quarterback. And it's Ingold on 1st and 10. Boy, he got hit so hard by Hobbs, he lost his hat. Luckily, his head wasn't in there.
Things off.
Here's the pass. Kincaid is brought down quickly by Reed.
Hurts keeps, hits Devontae Smith, who takes it to the 10, and that's it. Justin Reed looking to do it again here, and Slayton unable to hang on. Rolled an incomplete pass.
And Tennessee meets up trying to end this long 9-game road losing streak as Dearness Johnson is lit
for the day. Pickett uncorks, and it's hauled in. Allen Robinson with the catch.
The 25 to Hawkinson, knocked down incomplete. Big hit, Justin Simmons. Went up against Hawkinson and knocked it away.
He can run it. He's going to run it. He tries to direct traffic. He lowers his shoulder, knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Christian Harris.
High kick. Dallas from the 40s. Drilled. Flag comes down. Ball is loose. Duke Shelley got down there a little.
Good time. Going deep. Looking for Tucker. Intercepted. Another one for Ramsey.
Dangerous throw and incomplete. Devontae Smith was the target, and L'Jarius Sneed.
Dobbs, Hawkinson. Once again, Justin Simmons.
Fields throws end zone, looking for Herbert, and the back back shoulder throw won't go. Aleem McNeil brought some pressure late on.
Looking over the middle. Parham with the grab at the 5. Breaking tackles and is down to the 2. First and goal. Los Angeles, 14-yard.